What is holding the rest of us back?
Like I said, financial ignorance and basically perception. We live by perception. And when we are confused, or let's say confused enough, and we believe that what we are being told is true, and we keep on doing the same things over and over again, but it just doesn't seem to be working. I mean, I've been investing where they told me to invest. I've been doing what they told me to do with my money, and yet I'm not getting the results that I want to see. So I believe it's purely perception that is what's keeping people back, their perception.
So is the messing with our perception keeping us ignorant?
I would say yes, because it's more on conditioning and what you've grown up to believe, and obviously via the media or the mainstream media, we are told certain truths or fairy tales which we end up believing and applying in our lives, and that is what our perceptions are made up of what we've been conditioned via mainstream media.
Is knowledge power?
I'd say knowledge is useless information unless you know how to apply it. So knowledge is not power. The application of knowledge is power.
So how is the formula applied?
Okay, like I mentioned to you earlier, the formula is applied basically. First you need a surplus, or you need a business idea, and then you need to maximize the growth by minimizing the risk. And in doing so, you need to be taking the responsibility to maximize the growth and maximize the risk. There's either certain things you're going to need to do to minimize the risk in order to get the growth that you want. And obviously, if you knew how to calculate the growth over a certain term, so they try to confuse us. They tell us that there's a compounded interest and simple interest and multiplication interest. So we've got all this information on how to calculate growth, but only so that they can tell you that they can give you 12%. So if I found a way to get a better growth on my investment, obviously I wouldn't be using the financial institutions packages. Okay, so by applying this formula, there is what is called the IRR, which is the best kept financial secret in the world. And that if you just invested with a financial institutions package, it's just basically your input over the term, and that would be the growth. That is how you would be able to calculate your growth, by your amount of input, meaning your installments over a certain term, and that's how they would calculate your growth. On simple interest, it would be you are eating up your money, basically taking out a pension, and on compounded interest, you are basically growing your money. But what the IRR says is, it doesn't care whether you're eating up the money or whether you're leaving it there. It tells you what the actual growth is. And so 12% on, or 10% on compounded interest, and 10% on the internal rate of return is still 10%. So whether it's compounded or simple interest, 10% growth is still 10% growth.
Why do you prefer real estate as an investment?
Like I mentioned, real estate is the perfect vehicle in which you can apply this formula to create wealth. Okay, so I'm teaching people how to invest in real estate the correct way, because I've seen people buying properties and then, or I've personally sold them properties and seen them losing their property, let's say 2 or 3 years later, when the interest rate started climbing, and just in the beginning of the recession, when the market was still good, people were buying properties like you know, their lending criteria wasn't as strict as before the National Credit Act came into play. And because of that, I found that people couldn't buy for as much as what they could previously. And those who did buy wasn't able to afford their properties once the interest rate started going up. So therefore, when I discovered the formula and I saw how to apply this formula to real estate investments, I saw that there was a way to escape the wage slavery or the economic slavery that people are in, and that you could actually grow yourself rich in a very short period of time using real estate as an investment.
Do you have a course or workshop where you teach people this information?
I do have a one-day workshop where I teach you how to become a professional real estate investor. It only takes a day. It's very practical and simple process. It's just basically how I teach you to apply the formula, and I explain the IRR to you. I show you how SARS, by using a real estate that the South African Revenue Service basically subsidizes you and helps you to become financially independent. And then I'll also show you how to create a surplus if you don't have a surplus. So I'm basically, you can join my estate agency, Sheldon Arendse Properties, where I'll teach you how to become an estate agent. So if you don't have or don't know how to create a surplus, because I find everybody that's trying to start a business, they go to a financial institution and they tell the financial institution, here's my business plan, I'd like to get a loan, and they ask him, what's your income? And he says, no, look, I haven't started the business yet. I'm just, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm going to make millions. And the financial institution won't give you that money to start your business. So I basically teach people a new skill to invest in real estate. And then also I have this event planning guide where that I've written, also teaches people how to create wealth. I don't touch too much on that in the one-day training workshop, but it's all about creating the surplus first, and then also how to put in the time and the effort to make the investment work, to get the maximum growth and the maximum or minimum risks on your investments.
What is the cost of this one-day workshop?
Well, the cost of the workshop is basically 2,999 Rand. For some other reason, I've been giving this information for free to my clients over the past few years that I've been active in the real estate industry. And what I found is people have not been using this information. So I feel that it's actually quite sad, because people only normally use information or use advice that they've paid for. So I feel by putting that fair price to it, that at least I know they will put it to use and use it and actually make a difference in their lives to grow rich. I've paid personally, just by investing in myself, to find out and discover this information. I've spent roughly in today's value over 150,000 Rand just to find this information. I obviously don't want to make that kind of money out of people, so I make the price fairly reasonable. But like I said, if I was giving it away for free, people wouldn't use it.
Is there a money-back guarantee?
Oh yes, definitely. I give you 100% money-back guarantee if you apply what you have learned in the workshop and it doesn't work with you within the first year. So obviously you need to show me some proof that you have applied what I have taught you, and that you are able to show me where this has not worked, because I stand behind this 100%. This stuff definitely really works. So I'll definitely give you money back if you prove me wrong, basically, I'll give you money back.
What other products do you have?
Okay, like I mentioned to you, it's the event planning guide. I've basically written this guide because of the speaking event that I've been doing, teaching people how to create wealth. And you being a student yourself, I've basically have other courses where I've invited people and I teach them how to become an estate agent basically for free. I show you how to get your NQF4, so you don't do it via me, you do it via Services SETA. And then also the process of getting the Fidelity Fund. From next year, it's going to be compulsory for people to go via the NQF process. So I'm trying to get as much agents and new agents into the industry as possible, because when we started out initially in 2008, before this NQF4 process became into effect, we were basically 86,000 estate agents nationwide, and because of this new implementation, we've been reduced to about 35,000 estate agents nationwide. So there's been a huge drop, and there's obviously a huge gap in the market. So then also buying from the motivated sellers is also another avenue that I've got to help people out of a financial pickle. And then, like I mentioned, the event planning guide. You basically get your money up front because people want to plan the events, and they want to go to, or let's say have a wedding planned. They have the money, they want to get married, but they just don't have the time. So they're prepared to give you half of the money up front already just to do the planning for them. So by me arranging this speaking event, the one-day workshop, I've just basically used my skills applicable there to put this speaking event together and just show you the tricks of the trade, and that's where I wrote this event planning guide. I also teach people how to build websites, because my aim is to break people free from wage slavery. So by building websites, you have basically an online business, an online store where you can make money while you're sleeping. Okay, I obviously sell this book via my website and my teaching courses as well.
Where can we get a hold of you?
Okay, basically you can get hold of me on my website. It's under construction at the moment, www.sheldonarense.com, but it should be up and running pretty soon again. I was just doing some revamps on it, and then also my email is sheldon@sheldonarense.com, or you could reach us on 084 909 7415, and then also on Facebook, Sheldon Arendse.
Thank you, Sheldon. I hope that our viewers have enjoyed the information that Sheldon has provided for us. We have unfortunately come to the end of our show, but I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.